We're gonna groove. All right, we're gonna groove. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go right into it, okay? But I have some pretty informative news after the fact regarding recording and stuff. But anyway, we're gonna groove. Okay, let's go right to the intro. Okay, the intro, believe it or not, kind of has a Led Zeppelin-y, rock and roll-y, the Eagles, take it easy sort of thing going on, where, or Misty Mountain Hop, where, you know, normally what we'll do is we count it off, right? Count the tune off. Most people will count it like this, okay? Most people, it's only natural to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or as Bonham does in the recording. Now, technically speaking, you could say that intro starts on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or, and then the last bar is just a bar of 3 instead of a bar of 4. Or, it's kind of a different, like, it's really like, it's kind of like a horn riff instead of guitar. And if you think of it like a horn riff, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, coming in a quarter note early. Think of it more like this. I mean, either way's right. I don't know what Jimmy Page and the guys meant to do, but you can look at it either way, which is at least interesting, especially in regards to the song intros that throws up. Normally 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. Right? Well, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, da 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 da. Da 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 da, boom, on the 1, okay? So it's kind of like, either way you want to do it, you know? I mean, like a big band thing, I think, wouldn't be like, again, if you're thinking of the stuff in a different way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, ba da 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 da. Wah 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 wah. Wah 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 ba 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 da da da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Okay? So, that gives you the idea. So, either way you want to do it. But anyway, the notation of it, or at least playing it, so either way you want to think about it. Oh, check this out. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. But again, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? Either way you want to start. Okay? Either way. If you start on 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay? That's if you start on the 1, and then make that last bar a 3. Or start as a regular count, but the whole feel, the whole mojo, that whole ba-da-da-da-da-da starts a quarter note later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Okay? So there you go. Either way you want to count it. You know what I'm saying? If you have like a, think of 1 as just sort of like a more, the first one kind of sounds just more rudimentary drum-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? I guess horns could do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-wah. Yeah, that's a little more like late 60s, early 70s TV. The other one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's like a little more 1940s. All right, anyway. Something I want to address. You'll notice on the, again, like in other Zeppelin stuff, and other musicians do it all the time, but it's not really straight. It's not like straight 1E to 2. It's like swung instead of. It's. light swung feel. So that's very important. Bonham did that a lot. Remember, this is the Bonham channel, so we're just going to talk about Bonham, not other people. Okay? So think of it that way. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. Or James Cagney, or who's that guy with the big nose? 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. Cut into or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 da 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 da. Okay. Into the groove, because we're gonna groove. Oh, another thing too. Oftentimes you want to go. Well, remember, this is 1969, 1970 Bonham we're talking about. None of that kick down on the snare. Remember, it'll be. Hang on. That's important. Bonham was very bass drum notey in the first, and he probably was his whole life. Whether, you always hear the speech of Jimmy Page and the guys tell him, listen down, Bonham, get rid of that bass drum and cut out some of those notes, or you'll go out through different, you know what I'm saying? But, he just started playing less busy as time went on. I mean, sometimes in shows, bootlegs, you'll definitely hear him going berserker, and God knows, I'm not talking about like Good Times, Bad Times, or some of the other stuff. But you know what? If you listen to a lot of, let's say at least the shuffles, like the 6/8 or whatever, and later on it just got less notey. Whereas like in the early days, 69, it'd be like. Notice, as we all Zeppelin people do, he's really notey then. Anyway, so on this song, he's got that notey thing going on. 3, 4. Now, he doesn't play what I just played all the time, but, again, we're going to do general paradigm. More often than not, he does the what I, again, misnomer, call the Bonham turnaround, but I'm calling it the Bonham turnaround. But that's essentially it. The whole kind of groove is oh, whoops. And he seems to go from the bell to the wash shouldery edge part a couple minutes back to the bell. Like he doesn't seem to play the bell the whole time. I mean, I think most of the time. But anyway, but then we go back into the skull. I did not realize until that exact moment, right that just went by, that they play that part later in the song the way that I'm saying if you count it on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, ba-da-da-da-da-ba-ba-da. Maybe everyone's ahead of me here. Maybe I'm the only guy in the world that heard the beginning on the 1. Anyway, to keep things honest and forward, I'm going to keep this video and post it. Alright, anyway, so the way they go through that after the solo, they go through like just like the intro. So essentially, the whole song really is that, okay? And usually when he comes in, at least at the very beginning, and then of course we go into the ba-ba-ba. Those are two paradigms that he kind of does the whole time. A lot of the times in there, bop, 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 just the straight. Do you know what I'm saying? So, that one happens, and then some, you know, again around that time, first, second record, there was a lot of... made very popular, sort of the mid-late 60s, Mitch Mitchell-y type of thing that Bonham then did, as did a lot of other drummers. So, anyway, so that's kind of really it, honest to God, for the song, okay? You can count the song, which is, I think, you know, kind of not as it's meant to be counted off the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da, 3, da 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 da, okay? Or you can count it, I think, the way it was intended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, da 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 da, okay? Because God knows it just dawned on me at that moment. I don't know what's the matter with me. That they do the riff later in the tune after the solo. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so maybe that all dawned on everybody else, but sometimes I'm a wee bit thick. An interesting thing, too, about the recording that's on Coda. I thought I was like onto something. I was like, wait a minute, you know, listen to the Royal Albert Hall on January 9, 1970, and there was studio recording. It says that was recorded at, you know, a different studio. I forget, Olympic or whatever. I'm like, you know, the drums there, and, you know, a couple parts in the Plant's vocal, that's like taken from Royal Albert Hall. Well, I thought I was onto something big, and then I saw on, of course, Wikipedia, it says, hey, you know, even though it's credited to whatever studios, it was actually taken from Royal Albert Hall, January 9, 1970, which we see on our copies of our, it wasn't How the West Was, but, you know, the DVD, which was awesome. You know, it's the same, I think what Page did, was, you know, 1980, 81-ish, or whenever, before he released Coda, went in with, you know, the master tracks from the Royal Albert Hall. He cut some sections out because it's obviously not as long, sort of made it more like a singly sounding arrangement. And then I think just overdubbed 1980, 81, 82-ish Jimmy Page, as someone said, you know, Death Wish guitar. He did the Death Wish soundtrack at that time. So that's why. But he did a good job of keeping the guitar like that. I also think true to the time. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the song, I got to tell you honestly, when I first heard We're Gonna Groove on Coda, I was devastated. I was like, it's kind of, I was like, you know, I mean, I had a vision of like go-go girls and stuff going. It's like, you know, these boots are made for walking a little, for my taste. But anyway, what happened was eventually of course, when that thing came out and I saw that Royal Albert, I mean, I'd seen a little bit of that Royal Albert Hall footage at one point, but anyway, when We're Gonna Groove on there, which is, it's blistering, you're like, yeah, this is a pretty grooving song, but I gotta tell you, when I first heard it, I was just kind of like, so, anyway, this is We're Gonna Groove. Oh, and another thing too, you know, this is a good workout for your foot. That's a good workout for your foot. Keep 8 notes going. You know, just play it over and over again. Okay, thanks for watching the videos. I made this one before I'm Gonna Crawl is next, so I'll bang that baby out. See you guys, thank you.